Dr. Kevin Sorbo almost made a good point about healthcare in this country. Entirely by accident, of course, because it's Kevin Sorbo. Here it is. Here's his tweet about the vaccines, sort of. He says, if the shots were given away for free because they're life-saving, why isn't insulin free? Chemotherapy, EpiPens. Why, Kevin? That is a very interesting question. Very interesting. And you know, I've been asking that same question for a long time. Why isn't life-saving medication free for every single American? It is almost as if we have some sort of greed and profit motive endemic in our healthcare system that is for profit, that prevents medications from being accessible to the people who need them as a result of the cost. I mean, talk about being so close to the point. So close to the point. Now, the solution, of course, is universal health care. Medicare for all, single payer. There's another solution, of course, to this, not just one. Nationalize the pharmaceutical industry. Or you can, at the very least, allow Medicare to negotiate prescription drug prices, which will cause the price to go down. Now, of course, I'm sure that Kevin Sorbo, not in favor of either of those things. No, his entire point was to push anti-vax nonsense, but it very ironically turns out to be a pretty good own against our broken-ass healthcare system. And as such, a lot of lefties responded saying, way to go, Kevin. You are so close, just a little bit further. In fact, Brittany Nupper says, endorsing universal health care to own the libs? Well, to be fair, the Democratic Party doesn't really support single payer or Medicare for all. In fact, Joe Biden has pretty much given up on doing, at this point, right? We haven't heard a damn thing about a public option even. And so their big idea was expanding COBRA, which we all know, COBRA, junk. All right, another person says, you're right, it should all be free. Yes. Mancrick's wife, I love the reference here. Thank you for supporting single-payer healthcare, Kevin. Aaron Heritage says, imagine how much personal freedom you could have to live your conservative values if you had free healthcare at the point of service. Let's get Republicans to support this before Democrats steal your idea, Mr. Sorbo. I love that tweet because there's a couple of different layers to it, right? Again, coming at it from a conservative perspective, like, hey, healthcare is freedom. Freedom from being tied to a certain job that you might hate because of the healthcare benefits. Yeah, that's freedom. Health is freedom. And then, of course, you have the whole idea pointing at how the Democrats actually stole the idea for Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, from Mitt Romney, Romney Care. That's where the Affordable Care Act's provisions actually came from, a lot of which, at least a lot of the provisions there. And that's, by the way, we got that at a time when Democrats had full control of Congress, of all the branches of government. Super majority, could have passed something, could have passed a public option, but instead we get what we have now. Disaster. But yeah, the whole idea, of course, tying healthcare to your job or anything like that is just absolutely ridiculous. There's more. David Dole, friend of the show, says, glad to see you support Medicare for all. Another person from a different country says this, in Malaysia, insulin is free. So are most medications. Minimal charge to hospital admission. There are many other countries to socialize healthcare. They enjoy free medicine and hospitalization. Unlike, of course, in America, because, you know, America. And Mike Drucker says, hell yeah, to really own the left if you guys made all that medicine free. Please don't. We would hate it. Oh yes. Kevin, you want to own the libs? You want to make the liberal tier slow? Support Medicare for all. Please. A couple more here. Some people point out, correctly, that, hey, they're not actually free. They're paid for by the government from taxes that we pay. Yeah, Yeah, that's how it works. We pay taxes, and instead of it, that money going to make skeletons in the Middle East, they could actually go and make it so that people live in the United States. I know, weird. Yes, you know what? That's actually what I would want my tax money to do, is for it to come back and benefit not just me, but everyone else by paying for health care. And then someone else points out, all the research and testing was paid for with our taxes. This is in regards to the vaccine. Why should some corporation get to parachute in, buy up the patents, and then overcharge obscenely on things we already paid to develop? And of course, look, we've all seen the stories, Martin Shkreli, Pharma Bro. You also have the other pharmaceutical companies that have been raising prices of prescription drugs. I've covered this all on the show, where I've talked about how they're just willy-nilly raising the prices of these prescription drugs that people need. And they rely on to survive, because it's literally a case of your money or your life. They are highwaymen, and they are here to simply rob us. So now, so many different great questions here. And I just want to thank Kevin Sorbo for starting this wonderful conversation, this discourse. Although I'm sure at the end of this entire discussion, he's probably not happy at the result. In fact, I believe we have him responding to the direction in which this conversation went. Here it is.
Disappointed!